wake up, everybody. It's your girl, Sophie back here on Sofia's Football Talk to do a nice little preview of the Bournemouth versus Man United game in the Premier League. This is game week 34. So, just a few more games until we're done with the season, at least in the Prem, depending on how things go for the Europa League. But all things that we'll talk about next week, of course. Right now, we're focusing on everything Man United related news as well as the upcoming game tomorrow. Before we talk about that, make sure you give this video here a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as we are on the road to 10K subscribers by the end of this year, and as well consider becoming a SFT member. Link is in the description box. It's another way to help support the community and such like that. So link in description box as well as pinned in the chat. Let's go. There's been a lot of talk. I mean, right now the biggest news is the fact that Mateus Cunha, the Wolves player, striker, 10, whatever you may call it, very close in capital letters from Fabrizio Romano to joining Manchester United. And I'm definitely excited about that. It's a player I like, Premier League proven. What will be, I think he's going to be 26 this year, if I'm not mistaken. Later, at least. Yes, he's 25. He'll be basically in about a month. He'll be 26. He's born in 99. So good age, in the middle. Heavily linked. It's a release clause about, I think, 63.5 million. And that we're trying to pay in installments right now. We're the one really looking at that. He wants to come join Man United as well. I mean, we played him last weekend, and since then, it's progressed very much quickly. And it looks to be that we will probably hear something soon. We will hear, here we go, or an Ornstein Bamba very, very soon. And I'm excited. So it's a deal that we want to wrap up early as possible. The transfer window will be opening up, I believe, June 1st. It's a little over a month till then. We need to make sure that we're on it. Have signings wrapped up, okay? And it's a sign I think will do well to play in the 10, to play, similar styles for Wolves either way. So he's used to that. And even if we, let's say, okay, not that I want Amorim to leave right now, but if he ends up leaving, let's say in a year or two, we end up progressing back to a 4-3-3 and we divert, away from what we're trying to do now today with the style that we have now with, back three and all of that. Big up Omar, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Subscribe to Omar's channel. Show him some love. So if we end up looking away from a back three with wing backs, yada, 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 then that a player like Cunha can also be able to play a 4-2-3, which is completely fine. We move in with that. I have no issue, and it's a player that I do want, and I think like his whole, like the quality, the personality as well, I think he will fit right in. And hopefully we can make it happen. It looks to be that more and more likely that it will happen. Also, we have a link with Liam Delap. Right now, reported by Give Me Sport a few hours ago, Chelsea are confident they will beat Man United to the signing of Liam Delap. As we've been linked with him and Chelsea, Newcastle as well. So there's multiple that are trying to get a striker. For me, I'm not one of those that are super, super hyped about Liam Delap. I think he's good. He's a good player. I just want a more seasoned, a bit more older, experienced striker up top. We've done the youngins now. It ain't working. I do think Liam Delap is better than Hojlund, don't get it twisted. But I don't know. If we end up getting him, then it has to be with the Cunha. It can't be just Liam Delap alone. That's not going to cut it. But I do need an old striker, and I think there are. Yes, the striker market is limited. It's the worst that it's ever been in a very long time. I'm not convinced. It doesn't make me excited by any means at all. I mean, I would love a Jokeres or Victor Osimhen. Either one of the Victors. Either one of the Victors will be fine for me. That's where I'm at. But we have to wait and see. Yeah, we have to wait and see. But there are more people that we are linked with. So let's talk about that. Man United have contacted Espanyol goalkeeper Juan Garcia's entourage to make him an offer. Garcia has a 25 million release clause, which will rise to 30 million for the last 15 days of the transfer window. So somebody that we might try to go for, we'll see. Whether or not Onana leaves, I don't know about that, because Broski actually did end up buying himself a new home. 3.5 million mansion in Manchester is what was reported yesterday. So is Onana leaving anytime soon? Probably not. Do I want him to go? Yes. But yeah. You know what? Then bring in a new goalkeeper and you have him be on the bench. How about that? How about that? Big up Daily Take. Hope we're doing well. Long time no see. And there are more news. Man United have discussed Ederson during a meeting with club directors and Ruben Amorim. United made contact with the players' camp a few months ago to show their interest. He's seen as one of the ideal midfield candidates, also reported by Fabrizio Romano. That's one that we've been linked with for some time now. So, I mean, I've seen a little bit of Atalanta here and there, and wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. I think it could be a good reinforcement for sure. For sure. There's more. In recent weeks, Man United have been scouting Real Betis midfielder Johnny Cardoso, partnership by CMC. We are gonna keep hearing us being linked with scouted this and that. Looking at this and that. Like, there will be lots of news because Man United will generate clicks. We will. That's just what we do. So I'm just reading the news. Whether or not a lot of this is true or not, that's a story for another day. We will only see once, the window is closed. And we'll see whether or not some of these transfers. But then again, it could be true right now, and then we might be diverting our interest onto other players. That can also be true. So we have to wait and see. Man United are working on a deal to sign Preston North End goalkeeper Freddie Woodman on a free transfer. He will replace Tom Heaton, who is set to leave the club this summer, reported by Sports Pete O. More goalkeepers. And then this one, though, interesting. Man United want to Trico Franco. I don't know how to say this name, but I'll try. Mastantonu, I think, 38 million release clause. United intend to take him as soon as he turns 18 in August. Reported by Costa Febre for Fox Sports Argentina. I've been hearing about this player for the last few weeks now. I think there are more teams interested in him as well. So we'll keep you updated for sure if there's any more news. And now in regards to outgoings, players potentially leaving or staying. There now, which I'm happy about, and I knew this was going to be the case. There's a growing sense Casemiro will stay at Man United this summer, reported by David Ornstein. I mean, of course, he also said a few weeks ago that Mane was up for sale, Garnacho, nobody was really safe. Everybody will be up for sale. But I know there's been some parts of the fan base that's been like, oh, we don't really know where he's going to fit. Maybe it's just okay to pay up. And I don't like the way a lot of people are just start to turn on Cubby for no actual reason. Doesn't make sense to me. So this is why I'm pretty calm on this. I don't see us selling him. The one we will be most likely moving on is Garnacho. Also reported by David Ornstein is that he is highly possible of leaving Man United this summer. We know that Antonio Conte for Napoli as their coach has Garnacho very high up on his priority list of players that he wants to get. So, yeah, Chelsea have been linked with him as well. I would prefer him to go to a Napoli, go abroad, kill it there. Let's get some money as well. Help out with PSR and all that jazz. Some more news reported by Fabrizio Romano. We will dive in, of course, to the game, but what we do for these match previews, we need to go in with the Man United related news first. And to be fair, I didn't realize there was going to be so many different types of news this week. If I knew, we probably would have had one Man United related news stream, early this week. But to be fair, this is the first week that I'm back to my day job after some time away, so I couldn't really be doing too many streams. But next week, we shall do a lot more. Just a side note, Rasmus Hojlund would love to stay at Man United and compete for a spot. But if the club signed a new striker, it could be a possibility for him to leave. His future is not decided yet. Napoli and Juventus are tracking him. I hope he goes. Wish him the best. Take it for his service and move on. I just don't think he ain't making it here. He had a, good, decent first season, this season, shell of himself, and we just kind of were thinking, yeah, he ain't all that. And that's okay. It's okay to be honest about that. He ain't all that. Speaking of somebody that to a lot of people might be all that, Anthony, he might maybe stay at Real Betis for another season long loan. That's at least what they are preparing to offer Man United to extend their deal for the Brazilian winger by a further season, reported by Mike McGrath. Me personally, if y'all want to keep him, you got to pay up. Pay me my dinero. Where are my peas? I want my money. I don't want just please show me the money. All of that. Just show me my money. That's what we need to do. I don't want them to be like, oh, yeah, United, please, por favor, give us one more season with Anthony, por favor. Muchas gracias. No, we're not doing it. If you want to keep him, pay up. Pay up. And you see, he's so, I've seen some clips, obviously, he's been scoring, he's been doing very, even La Liga was saying, he's the GOAT. I'm sorry, then we should up our price. We say 40 million. I'm saying get more money now. I ain't gonna lie. People were saying we won't get 20, 30. He's completely revolutionized his own career, that there's still a player there. It's just not a player there at Man United, but elsewhere, he can actually still do very well, So I'm saying, good for you, but I want my money. Literally, I want my money. But we have to wait and see. So let's move on to the actual game, though. But before we do, like the video, because seriously, the likes do matter. The more likes we get, the more we're able to push the video out there for new people to see and new people to react to. So, and subscribe as well if you are new. All right? Great news here, though. Amad Diallo is set to be back in training with Man United squad already next week. Despite initial expectation for a season to be over after injury, he's recovered in record time, and so Amad will be available for training from next week, reported by Fabrizio Romano. I'm super happy about that. I do not want to rush him back to any of the Premier League games. I need you for Europa League. I need you for Europa League. That's all. I'm saying if we can maybe bring him back for second leg at OT against Athletic Bilbao. So basically in 2 weeks' time, I would love that. If that is possible. If not, and we can hopefully push and get ourselves to the final, then I'll bring him for the final. I'm not trying to have him in the Premier League games. Nah. I don't really want that, because what if he suddenly gets injured? Then we kind of screwed. We already have a Zirkzee that's out for the season, and plus there's now another one that seemingly will be out for the rest of the season. It was reported yesterday by Ruben Amorim. Diogo Dalot is not only out of this game, but faces a spell out of action with the calf problem. So he's going to be out for the rest of the season, is what is reported in his press conference by Ruben. We don't know how long he's going to be out, but he's out for these games. We will see until the end. In a more positive update, like I said, Ahmad is back and Matthias de Ligt are nearing returns to first team training. Ahmad is near, Mata's near, but the rest is at the same pace at Amorim. Aiden Heaven is not ready, so I think that is it. Licha, obviously, and Zirkzee out for the season. Toby Collier has also been absent. Yep, there you have it with that. Bournemouth team news. The Cherries are aiming to complete their first ever league double over United. Damn. We definitely gonna make that happen for y'all. In order to boost their hopes of securing a maiden European campaign. Adoni Ariola's side won 3-0 at Old Trafford in December. I remember that. Oh. And they are without long-term absences Enes Unai and Ryan Christie. Colombia international Luis Sinistera is closing on a return, but looks unlikely to feature for the game tomorrow. Midfielder Lewis Cook is managing an injury niggle that cast his involvement in doubt. So, obviously, of course, the heavy hitters at Semenyo Kluivert will be there. Yeah, we just have to, and Kirkis thing. Yeah, we most likely, the fact that they haven't done a league double against us before, yeah, they're going to do that now. Even though my prediction says otherwise, but now I almost feel like that might actually be the case, that they end up getting a win. And I remember I was Tenok out last season when we did lose 3-0 at home, also to Bournemouth. And we lost 3-0 again to them at home, just in December this season. It's madness. But I'm so done with the season. Like, we're 14. We potentially could be 13 if we win against Bournemouth. I think even if we get a draw, because we and Everton, I believe we're on the same points. So we could potentially, if we double check, not that it matters, but I'm just a little bit curious. So we're 14. Yeah, we can get to 13. And we will then still be 7 points behind the Crystal Palace in 12. So I think the highest we can finish is probably 13. The lowest will be 17. It's very close. From 13 to 17, it's just, 2 points difference? That is a madness. And then all the way to like 18 and 20, it's like they are in a different league of themselves at the very bottom. And then up top, it's just, yeah, it is horrible. But I'm saying if we can finish 13, I'll take it. I would rather not finish 17th, but right now the season with the games that we have, if we look at the next upcoming games in the league, it is quite poor. I mean, I was thinking that the Wolves game was the game that we were going to hopefully get, a win. We ain't doing it. Aren't you not bored of not getting 3 points? Because Darko, I'm not bored. There's nothing. Brother, we were close last time against Wolves, and then we messed it up by giving away a free kick. They won 1-0. It is what it is. What are we going to do? Next games, obviously, Bournemouth, of course, tomorrow. Brentford away next week. It's going to be the first game in May. Lord have mercy, we're already in May. And then it's going to be West Ham at home, Chelsea away, and the final game of the season is Villa at home. I just don't see where we're going to get wins from. I don't see it. I have no idea. We might actually lose all of the remaining games. And we have, 15 losses. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can actually literally get 20 losses in the league this season. That is insane. We've definitely, like last season was bad. Last season was hella bad with the amount of losses which we had, right? We already surpassed that now. That was our worst ever season. This is our worst ever season. It is bad. It is bad. So what will be more decisive in the remaining matches? Amorim's lineups, his in-game management, or his substitutions and their timings? Good question. The thing is though, we're going to be playing the kids. We're going to be changing things up and having more of like the guys that are on, what should I say? Maybe we'll play Fredrickson again. Maybe I should put him here. Lindelöf. Just realized that now. I need to change it up. We'll have it'll be some parts with the lineups because we need to, of course, have kids playing. But of course, also like some of the veterans that just aren't really first team starters as well, such as the Eriksen and Lindelöf, right? That's kind of what you need. Maybe substitution at their time could also be decisive, but to be fair, like the remaining games especially when it comes to in the league, it's not really, guys, there's not really much to play for. I hope we can finish at the highest we can finish as things stands right now. I think realistically is 13th. The lowest, like I said, is 17th. I would prefer us to finish 13th, so we don't do it that much worse than a Chelsea that finished 12th 2 seasons back and yada, yada, yada. I don't want us to be like the ones that are finishing 17th and all of that. But like imagine finishing, I almost feel like we might finish 15th, I think. Maybe 14th, 15th, one of the two. And then winning Europa League, that would be great. Imagine being that further down the table and actually winning Europa League, getting into Champions League next season. That is mad. That is so us, like us just scamming, with how we do like the whole Fergie time, the extra time wins and all of that. It'll be very us to just be so poor and actually still win a trophy and still finish strong at the end. Mad. That's why I feel like it could happen, but you never know. Right now, of course, make sure we do the job against Athletic Bilbao. But that we'll talk about next week. Either way, let's progress, move on with this game though. So Onana will start. I think we'll have Mazraoui, Linder, and Fredrickson again. I think Fredrickson did well, the youngster from the academy. He did well. I hope we can see him again. Wingbacks, we know Dalot is injured for some time. Most likely won't be back until the season is done. And I don't even think we should rush him back. Let him rest. You have Amas left wing back, Dorgo right wing back. And I thought Dorgo did actually well with compared to at the beginning of the season when he played against Leicester and stuff like that. Or not the beginning, but the beginning of his time after the January window. His debut game looked kind of rough when he was playing on the right. But I still felt like he's actually done better against Wolves than he's done in some of the other games playing on the left. So I'm saying if we can play him on the right, I'm not going to be opposed to it because I actually felt like Amas held his own. So I'm saying why not? Why not? Pivot. I feel like Casemiro will start. He rested. He didn't play in the last game. He might play. He might start, and then we'll take him off. It's what I'm presuming. But we definitely need him for the Athletic Bilbao game, though we do need him. I'm just going to say Eriksen, Casemiro. In the 10s, Maino, Garnacho. Be wrong. Even though we really should be having, what, I'm going to say Mount. I'm going to say Maino, Mount. We actually do need Mount to start a game. He has to. that guy is poor, but you got to start a game at some point. Start. And then Cheeto up front, probably it'll be Hojlund, but I'm just going to say Cheeto. I want to see Cheeto up front. Hojlund, my eyes bleed. Darko asks, Sofia's Amorim as delicate with players Ertenag as he won't rush Ahmed even when it's the need of the hour. There's no point of rushing Ahmed to Premier League games. That doesn't matter. If the games mattered and we were trying to get top 4 or something like that, get the 5th spot in the for Champions League football, that makes sense. But if it's just so that we don't finish 17th, there's no point. That doesn't make any sense. Any sense whatsoever. You rush. I need him to be ready for Europa League. That's where I need him. We have missed Ahmed. We see it. 100%. We see it. Ahmed has 6 goals in the league. Still, Hojlund doesn't have more than him. And he's a striker. And he's also played many, many more minutes. Many, many more games. And still, we're lacking. So you know what? No. We can still finish top 10. We won't finish top 10. That's not happening. Broski, are you not listening to me? Are you? The best I believe we can do is 13th. Literally, it's 13. In 10th, we have Brighton with 49 points. They're 11 points ahead of us. 11 points, which means we would need them to lose some games, and we needed us to win some games. We ain't winning. I don't see where we're winning. That ain't happening. 13 is as best as it gets. It's what I think. I don't just 10th. If that happens, I'm going to say, Darkro, you are right. Darkro, I would love for you to be right and for me to be wrong. I don't want to be right. I hope I'm wrong. I hope these players can prove me wrong and we just go on a winning streak and win multiple games and ba. I would love for that to be the case. I just don't see it being the case because I know this team. And this team hasn't been consistent this season. We haven't won just one time back-to-back games. Just one time in the league this season. In the league. We haven't done it. In the league alone this season. Yeah. Finishing under 15 is more respectable. Oh, either way, I ain't gonna lie. I couldn't give a damn about the league. I just want that Europa League. The Prem right now, I'm so checked out. I just do these videos. We talk about them because I like talking about football. We gonna talk about my team. Even though my team is dreadful to watch, we gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about them. That's that. But before we wrap up, big up to those who tuned in to watch this stream. And if you are here as well later on the replay, you as well the people that are watching live, better like the video. Let me know in the comment section in live here what your score prediction are. Let me know before we wrap up. My score prediction is going to be 1-1. We might lose. Bournemouth has been in some poor form. Let's look at Bournemouth. They've been on some poor form. They have. They 100% have been in some poor form, 100%. But, last time they drew to Palace. They won against Fulham. They drew to West Ham. They lost to Ipswich, City, and Brentford. Drew to Spurs. Won the FA Cup against Wolves. Yep. In the league, they've been in poor form. Where are they in the table? There was some points where they're like fifth and stuff like that, fourth, even third. I think if they were, they're eighth. Like 8 points behind Villa, who are in seventh. Yeah, so they definitely dropped off very heavily. The past few weeks for sure, but I won't be surprised if they get a proper bounce against us because whenever teams are down, they need a little bit of motivation. Just play Man United. Just play Man United and you shall get the motivation you deserve and that you're seeking for because that's what we provide for teams to be gassed and up for it when they play us, because they know we're trash. They know. Yippee-ki-yay. Imagine once upon a time the Premier League was our bread and butter. Hopefully one time we'll get back. Darko says, I think it will be 2-0 to us. Really? By the way, it's away. And they've already won against us at home, 3-0. It's away. Remember that. A Premier League win is long due, and also the players must be bored of conceding goals every game. Okay, they can be as bored as they want to be, but that doesn't mean that we ain't going to lose it. I said 1-1, though. But there's definitely a big chance that we might actually end up. By the way, apologies, my voice. My voice I've been using it a lot lately. So I just think that they can be bored as much as they want. That still doesn't mean that we ain't conceding. That needs to be fixed. We're playing a back three and we're still conceding a lot of goals. How many? What is the goal difference for us? Hey, let me check that real quick. What's the goal difference? -8. Dang. We scored only 38 goals and conceded 46. Damn. That's bad. That's bad. Wolves have scored more than us. They're ahead of us. I mean, Spurs have scored 61 goals. They're right behind us. Yeah. We in some trouble. But yeah, once again, to those who are tuning in, my score prediction is 1-1. I'm gonna say Casemiro scores. And then for them, Semenyo scores. Or Kirkis. I'm gonna say Semenyo and Kirkis assist. That's what I'm gonna say. There you have it. To those of you who haven't, let me know your score prediction. Feel free to do that after this video is done, as I do appreciate the comments. Like this video here on your way out. I will be back tomorrow again, of course, right after the game to talk about the game. Hopefully, I don't have to be bummed out and yada, yada, yada like I was against Wolves. Will be amazing if we can get a win. I just don't see it happening. But right now, my full focus is more so on that Athletic Bilbao game on Thursday. So yeah, next week we're gonna have a lot more content coming for you guys. Yes, make sure you do check out my FPL video that I posted yesterday. I believe in a few hours Inter will play Roma. I will probably post either a YouTube Shorts or a reaction video. Regardless, a reaction video will be out later for that game, as well as the El Clasico Copa del Rey final. We will do a YouTube Shorts probably for that. So stay tuned for some fresh content this weekend. Big up Travis. Thank you, Dark Crow. Thank you to the people that have been here. Big up Omar, Daily Tech. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.